Hey folks, how you doing today? All right, so I'm back. I haven't been on here in a while, but as you can see, I got a picture of my my stock pot here, and I have some beef shanks in there that I'm browning. Um, Basically, I'm making a hearty beef soup today because in this nice cold, chilly weather, I like a hearty soup. So, anyway, so what we're doing is, so as you can see, we're browning. Oh, beautiful! They're already released. So what happens here is when they brown on one side, you'll know when they're ready to flip because what they'll do is they'll release from the hot pan. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. So I'm just flipping them over, browning the other sides now, and then we'll get our beef soup going. It's a pretty nice dish. It's simple. It's a soup. I love soup when it gets colder. So what we're doing, anyway. I'm going to show you some ingredients that are going to go inside here. Once these brown up, I'm going to pull them out, and I'm going to use my basic mirepoix. That it's basically your soup starter is a mirepoix. That's what you always start with, or some kind of mirepoix, But anyway, so I have here. I got some celery, carrots, and onions. And the rule of thumb is when you're going to do a soup, you want, I believe it's basically like 60% onion, 20% celery, right, celery, and then 20% carrots. And I'm going to thicken my soup. I got a little bit of flour, some butter, and I got tomato paste and some wine that I'm going to deglaze the pan with when this is done. And then I'll just add everything together, and I'll add water to this, and it'll make its own beautiful stock. Plus, it has all the beautiful flavors that are in there right now. So give me a second. I'm gonna set you down. It's gonna be dark, but I want to pull. I'm gonna pull these bones out. Oh, actually, you know what? Here, I can do this. So they should be ready. I mean, they're basically what I'm doing. I'm just browning both sides. If you want, you could do all four edges. But really not. You don't have to, because it'll, it's gonna all cook and it's gonna get so tender in here that that these are all gonna fall apart. So, okay, here, let me pull them out. All right, there's one. These are some really nice sized beef shanks too. Gonna make a great soup here. Nice. Okay, and then pull the third one out. Okay, so what we got going here is I'm gonna let me lower this just a little bit because I don't want everything to start burning. But then if it does, actually I could probably do this pretty fast. I'm holding my phone today. I don't have my tripod set up, but I'm throwing all the onions in first, and to get that flavor going. And don't worry, my hands are clean. I washed them. Okay, so we got all the onions in. And now I'm going to put my celery. And as you can see, oh man, the onions are already smelling great. And then I'm going to add my carrots. It's kind of hard doing this one-handed, but you know what? We got to do what we got to do. All right, here we go. All right, 1 second. Let me just set this phone down. All right, I had to get that a little bit. All right, so we're gonna work fast here, and we're gonna saute these and get the flavor out of them. We're gonna add a little bit of salt. I'm working around here. Just deal with me for a second. Alright, so I'm just doing a pinch of salt here, just to get a little bit of salt and make those flavors come out really good. So here. Alright, these are sauteing fast. I gotta work fast here. No, actually pretty good. Wow, if you smell this right now, you'd be, oh my God, So my next thing there is I'm gonna add a little bit of tomato paste, probably about 2 tablespoons. There's one. And then there's two. Okay. We'll get that going. And I know I'm moving fast in here, so just bear with me. Just trying to get this thing going. So, alright, so then we're gonna saute a little bit of the paste mixed in with the celery, onions, and carrots. And it, you know, and it brings all that flavor out of there too. So, oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, we're gonna let that cook up a little bit. Let me actually turn this flame just a little bit higher. You know, when you initially use tomato paste, it's got a little bit of that, almost like a sour kind of thing. So you always got to cook it off a little bit. You know, when you're mixing it in like this, you'd rather have the flavor and not, you know, and that bite. You know, that soury tomato bite. Okay. So my next thing is, I'm gonna add a little bit of butter, and I'm using it as a thickener. So I like the way the butter tastes in this hearty soup. So we're gonna add a little bit of butter. 1 second here. All right, I'm bouncing around. Okay, here we go. I'll grab my knife. I'm gonna go about 2 tablespoons. Look at that. And then I'm just gonna add it right in, and I'm gonna put this over here. Get it out of the way. Up. You know what? I'm doing all the old tricks that you shouldn't be doing. But all right, so I'm gonna melt that butter in there. And this is cooking up really, really good. Well, if you could smell my house right now, you'd be like, "Oh wow." Okay, so as we move on here, so I added the tomato paste, added the butter, a little bit of salt. You got celery, onions, and carrots for your base. And then I browned some beef shanks in here. And what we're going to do next is we're going to add a little bit of flour. So probably about 1/4 cup maybe even a little bit more. And that's going to be our thickener. So what you want to do is you want to cook that out. That's going to get all mixed in here. And you want that flour taste to be cooked out, you know. It attaches itself to all the vegetables that you got cooking in here, but then it doesn't get clumpy, you know. Especially if you cook it down and you mix it in and stir it, where you don't even see the white no more. It all becomes part of the flavor of the soup. So here we go. Look at that, you know. And then I'm gonna let that brown a little bit. This might be a good time to have a little bit of wine, you know, a little wine with your cooking. Yeah, but this is the beginning. I'm gonna let that brown a little bit in there. I'm gonna stir it one more time, and then I'm gonna deglaze the pan. Yeah, see it? It's already sticking. Okay, and you want to just cook this to the point where you don't smell, you know, that flour or the tomato paste, you know, where it's got that, you know, that bitterness to it. But oh yeah, now see, it's starting to smell fragrant, so we're getting there. Once I don't smell that floury smell anymore, then this will be ready. I'm going to add some wine, and then I'm going to add water to it, and then I'm going to add the beef shakes to it, and then this is going to go on a slow cook, probably for about 3 to 4 hours on a low simmer flame. And that's pretty much it. Just bear with me, and like I said, this is a quick soup. Look, you see me, it didn't take me long. Maybe 10 minutes, 11 minutes to get this going. And that's it. I mean, and then, you know, by the end of the day, you got a nice hearty beef soup. I'll probably add some deep tahini to it and a couple potatoes towards the end. And let them cook in the last, you know, maybe last hour or so. Let the potatoes and stuff cook in there. And you know, the cool thing is you can even throw the pasta in with this, you know, and probably about a cup, and it's perfect for this size pot. And there you go. You got the DTL in there. You add those like in the last maybe 10 or 15 minutes of cooking, and they'll boil up with the soup. And then the starches from that pasta actually give it even a nice thickness too. And you always remember, you could once you let this sit for a while, it's going to thicken up on you because it has potatoes in there and it has pasta in there. So the starches from that will be perfect. But it's such a simple recipe for a nice cold day. And then you make yourself some old-fashioned crusty bread. Toast it. Oh man, and you could use that for dipping and eating up the beef shank and the parts of the beef. But all right, so looks like we're burning. We don't want that. Busy talking, but that's all right. That actually smells pretty good. That little bit of burn. So what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna add about a quarter cup of wine. You know what? Half a cup. There we go. Wine never hurt anybody. And we're gonna scrape the bottom and try to get all that up. Well, yeah. At this point, I want to lower the flame a little bit because I don't want it to burn. But we're scraping up all that goodness off the bottom of the pan, as you can see here. Okay. Oh yeah, if you smell this right now, oh my God, my house smells great. And this smells great. I can't wait to eat this later. But a little bit more over here. All right, so now you got all this goodness, basically at the bottom that I scraped up, and that's going to go right into the soup. I'm going to add some water to this now. Let me see, a couple bowls. This is probably a 4-quart pot, so I'm thinking I could probably add about 3 or 4 of these bowls. I'm just using a bowl to add to it. I mean, you kind of know when your pot is about almost full, that's when you're ready. You know what I mean? That's it. You don't need to put any more other than that, So we're going to add a couple of these bowls here to the soup, and we're going to be good to go. Look at that. There's one. Look at that. Look at the flavor and the coloring on her. I might throw a little bit, maybe about halfway into the cooking. You can even throw it in now. I'll probably throw a bay leaf in there too, because I always like the taste of bay leaf. And what else I like, a little trick, is I throw a couple shots of Worcestershire sauce. I think it brings out the flavors of the meat, because it's like steak. Don't get too crazy with it, because you don't want to take away from from everything else, from the meat and all that. But just a couple shots of a Worcestershire sauce to use, and that's it. All right. For right now, I'll probably fill this up a little more, but just for you guys, I want to get this going here. Okay. So now what I'm doing is I'm just mixing everything, and look at the color of the stock. It's perfect. And you can re-season this later on once you get it going. You can either you want to add a little bit of black pepper to this, a little more salt. That's it, man. This is going to be wonderful later on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the beef shanks to it, and then I'm going to put this on simmer, and it's going to have to cook for about 3 or 4 hours on simmer. There you go. 1, 2, and 3. All gone, folks. That's it. This is the start of a good soup here. I'm just giving it a little bit more of a stir. Make sure they're in there. Alrighty. Well, that's my take on beef soup. I'll post later on pictures of the soup itself. And if you got any questions, don't be shy, man. Send me a message. Right through Messenger or text me or whatever, or like it on Facebook. I'm gonna put this on my page on Facebook too. Okay, well, everyone, have a nice day and enjoy yourself.